My dear, they feared your softness because it was stronger than their sharpness. You weren't too much. You were too real for a world built on pretending. They mistook your silence for weakness, not knowing you were listening for God. Your kindness broke their armor, and they called you dangerous. They don't hate you. They can't understand how you glow without their permission. You spoke with your eyes, and they accused you of hiding. They misunderstood you because you didn't perform your pain. You love like wildfire. They only know cold winds. They feared the mirror you became when you stood unshaken. You stayed calm while bleeding, and they called you heartless. Your honesty threatened the masks they couldn't live without. They wanted your light, but cursed your fire. You held space for their storms. They blamed you for the rain. You didn't shrink. That's why they tried to erase you. You forgive faster than they hurt, and they called you naive. You weren't cold. You just stopped explaining yourself to those who never listened. They couldn't cage you, so they called you dangerous. They can't label you. You came from the mouth of the divine. You protect what matters. They only noticed when they lost access. Your gentleness made them feel exposed. You read souls. They accused you of witchcraft. They mock what they secretly crave. Your unwavering truth. You don't beg for love. You walk with it. They couldn't manipulate you, so they painted you cruel. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You left quietly. That silence screamed louder than your presence ever did. You didn't change. They just finally saw what you protected. They blame your boundary as if it's violence. You made them feel seen, and it terrified them. You smiled through betrayal. That's why they feared your strength. Your softness is a sermon they refuse to understand. You won't be adored until they can't replace you. You didn't abandon them. You rescued yourself. They only valued you when you became a memory. They think you healed too fast. They never knew you bled in silence. Your soul isn't loud. It echoes. They're not mad at you. They're mad they never broke you. You weren't confusing. You were just too real to decode. Your joy feels like rebellion to those addicted to misery. They labeled your glow delusion, because it didn't need their approval. They lost you when they laughed at your depth. Your presence demands truth. That's why they run. You see beyond faces, and they fear the mirror. They misunderstood your boundaries as punishment. You didn't close off. You got tired of bleeding for the blind. They couldn't predict you. That's why they tried to control you. You outgrew their version of you, and it shattered them. You shine in silence. That's what unsettled their noise. You weren't unstable. You were unraveling what they refused to face. They love the idea of you but not the soul behind it. You heal in quiet, and they call it ghosting. You knew too much. That's why they kept you confused. You asked for depth, and they gave you distance. You don't need closure. You needed truth. Your peace exposed their chaos. You see red flags as lessons, not invitations. They hated how you stayed soft after all that pain. You were gold. They wanted glitter. You loved with prayers. They only offered promises. They don't miss you. They miss your light. They never expected you to walk away in love, not bitterness. You didn't leave. You ascended. Your silence wasn't revenge. It was protection. They couldn't match your loyalty, so they questioned it. You were clarity. They wanted fantasy. You gave them eternity, and they traded it for attention. They'll rewrite your story to ease their guilt. You weren't the villain. You were the mirror. They couldn't understand you because they never listened to themselves. You held them through fire. They abandoned you in fog.